Hello and welcome to this edition of Business Spotlight. My name is Reza Kududus from Action Coach, and I'm delighted to be joined today by a very special guest, Oliver Muller from Property Card. Hi, Oliver.
Hi, Reza. Good to meet you.
Good to have you with us. Oliver, without further ado, just tell us a little bit about your business and what it is that you do.
So I'm the founder of Property Card, and it's the first app for property documents, which allows anyone to manage all of their property documents in one place. It's the first of its kind. It's available in the app stores, and it works for anyone globally. So if you own a house or more, you can manage all the paperwork and the documents of the home with signatures, collaboration with others, everything in one place.
Fabulous. That's amazing. And you've been doing this for a while. Just tell us how long you've been going for.
So it's taken 5 years to prepare this business so that it works for everyone, everywhere. And the infrastructure has been prepared and set up. And now we're ready for chapter 2, which is marketing and growth. We're going to spend so many years going forward on some incredible marketing and publicity and sales all over the world. We have a global mobile team that's looking to do a lot of interesting stunts and different things on the marketing side. So this will be a brand that definitely most people will hear about in coming years. And this is what's next for us.
Fantastic. Sounds really amazing. And what actually got you started, thinking about starting your own business? How did you get onto this journey?
So I was a landlord and managing a property fund. I had multiple properties, and
Okay.
the average property has 50 or more documents, paperwork, and you have to manage these with many parties, with your tenants and with your bank and with your solicitors and with your inspectors and surveyors and so on. So there's so many people involved and there's so much paperwork involved. If you have more than one home, you realize that the problems and the mess starts compounding. So as I was building my property portfolio and managing a property fund, the problems were compounding at scale. It became really, really tedious and hard to manage. And I noticed that this is something that so many people around the world are facing. There's 150 million landlords in the world, and so many people own a second and third home for passive income, side income. So this is a problem faced by so many people. And even those who own one home are aspiring to go up the ladder and own the second, third. So this is a very common journey that most people face, and it's a problem that has not been solved. And I started out by solving this for myself and turned it into business.
Well, yeah. So it's a classic story of, having a frustration and then finding a gap in the market and going for it.
Yeah.
Sounds and starting a business is never easy. And there are challenges involved. What were your challenges when you first started?
The challenges were to build a product that works for everyone, everywhere, on the go. So a lot of times there's a problem and people go about solving it in a complex way that doesn't necessarily make life that much easier. But this is something I wanted to solve, not just for myself, but for anyone globally, with a standardized product that works mobile on the go. So building the product that does that was very difficult, but there was a major turning point, which was COVID, and the start of remote work, remote living. Everything was on the go and digital, and even governments. There's a big macro change now that governments are starting to go paperless, right? So documents are moving from the paper based storage to digital on your phone on the go. So all of this has helped make this new reality that people want things on their phone. And this applies more than anything to the property sector, which is more than half the wealth of the world is in real estate, right? So all the paperwork of this wealth in this sector is moving from being backed by paper into digital, and we have the solution for this.
Okay, great. And you touched on one of the kind of turning points, the milestone in your business, which was COVID. I'm guessing that somehow accelerated the growth. Was there anything else, or would you like to expand on what happened during that time? If you want to talk about the turning point that impacted your business.
Yeah, I mean, we can debate for a long time about the agendas out there in the world and why things are happening like they're happening. But COVID was a major turning point. whatever side of the story you believe in, as for COVID and what's going on, there is an agenda to move things more and more digital, cashless. There's a global agenda for this, and it's starting with governments, and specifically the UK government has a directive now, an agenda that by 2025, the entire property sector becomes paperless 100%, which means you will no longer receive a title deed for your home, which is on paper. You will receive it as a digital title deed. So this and many other areas of the property sector and other sectors are going completely paperless. It's also eco-friendly, sustainable. There's a whole directive globally for ESG, for climate impact, and all these things. So things are moving in a direction of eco-friendly digital solutions. So this is the major turning point, and it has huge ramifications because as it stands, we said the average home has 50 documents. This is based on the research and surveys we've done. There's 2 billion homes in the world. So there's currently hundreds of billions of paper documents in circulation. And these are gradually moving into digital format. And soon enough, they will be digital altogether. You won't even receive them in paper format. Your mortgage contract, which is many, many pages from the bank, you will then receive it in a digital format and so on. So there's huge ramifications, huge shifts that are happening in the sector. And, we're in line with this wave and this macro trend that's happening.
Yeah, amazing. And obviously, you're saying you're one of the first solutions to offer this. But what is it that you do to stay ahead of a curve and stay ahead of a competition, the upcoming competition, or things that you will perceive? How do you kind of make yourself unique in the market and keep yourself unique?
We're gonna have so apart from the unique marketing that's coming up, which will have a big impact in staying top of mind and resonating with consumers, we will position ourselves as a lifestyle brand that resonates with landlords and with homeowners. And this lifestyle is facilitated by this product. And the product that keeps us ahead of market is, so we won a lot of innovation awards. And it's because our product does so much with so little. That's one of our core tenets, is to try and do more and more every single day while removing things that the consumer needs to do, removing friction. So every day the product gets a little bit better while taking away something to do. So it gets more efficient. And this ties into efficiency is the biggest thing we're trying to solve. It's a very inefficient sector. So many things are redundant. Some of the processes, the papers, the steps are redundant. So we're trying to remove as many redundancies as possible and make it as efficient as possible. And this is translating into our product. It gets more and more efficient every single day. And the rate at which the innovation is happening in our product is so fast that it's unlikely others will catch us at this. We've had a 5-year head start. And within 5 to 10 years, I think we will have the #1 product that does more than any other product out there, and is also easiest to use. If you notice, a lot of property sites and a lot of products today are a bit complex. There's a lot of pages, a lot of buttons, a lot of sublinks, and site maps are so large. With us, you'll notice our product is a few clicks. It's the shortest user experience from download to getting what you want done. We've mapped this out against all the competitors in the sector, and we have the fastest UX, user experience. So the least number of clicks to go from first time hearing about us to getting what you want done. And that's going to be the edge that wins. Same like Uber. Uber is the dominant player in the transport because it's the fewest clicks from making a decision to get a car to being inside it. That's what people want. They want speed. They want efficiency. Whoever makes strides forward continuously in this is going to be the winner. It's all about speed and convenience and efficiency in the end. And that translates into savings of money and time, which is the ultimate goal for everyone. So that's what keeps us ahead on the product side, ahead of our competition.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I can see first mover advantage and then continuous innovation. And that was an interesting parallel you made with Uber, that will keep you ahead. So obviously you've done this with a team, and you mentioned the team a few times. What do you look for when you're hiring a new team member? What are the qualities you look for when you're hiring new staff?
I like this question. I think it's the most important thing for anyone in business is to be really good with people and very good at hiring, because it's most of the time spent for someone running business or any project of size and big intentions is to have the right people around, and it takes a while to find them. It's a process of, you know, it's a dance of finding the right people, the right culture, the right competence, the right character. Some are people are short term, some are advisors, some are freelance, some are long term. Just how to move the pieces around on the board is very, very important part of strategy of managing people. And even though we have a team of around 5 people, we've hired and fired over 150 to get there. So, and that's apart from the hiring recruits that didn't start. So we've met with thousands of people for this project to end up with 5. And one thing that's like a central thing that I look for, it's an unstated thing, but it's something I look for, is can this person I'm bringing on board generate more than $1 million a year in revenue for me? So I like to find people who are masters of their craft and have great character. That's the baseline. But then it's, can they generate more than $1 million a year in revenue? Because we want to be a very efficient company. It's not just revenue we want to make. We want to make it with the least number of people and the highest output per person, so that there's no waste. You know, if we can do the same result with 5% or 10% of the staff, what's the need for all the extra staff? What's the need for all the extra office space, all the extra paper? You know, it's efficiency is the key theme for us in everything, and hiring is a central part of that as well. So, are the people we're bringing on board able to generate $1 million plus of revenue in what they do? For the guys on the tech side, is their work, is the product that they're bringing able to bring us that return? On the marketing side, sales side, are they able to generate those sort of numbers? There's a lot of tech companies today that are doing that. There's a new wave of very, very hyper efficient companies, SaaS companies, that are generating in excess of that. There's one this week that came out. It's called Midjourney. They launched 2 years ago. They're doing 200 million in revenue, and they're doing 5 million in revenue per employee, 40 people, right? So 5 million per person. One of the most efficient companies. So that for us is very exciting, and that's something I look for when I'm hiring and building a team.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that, you know, you're obviously taking the time to pick the right members, right? You're in the tech sector. You mentioned the move to digitization in that particular, the property subsection of the tech. Are there any other emerging opportunities or technologies that excite you about the future and what's coming up?
I mean, there's a lot of talk about this stuff in AI and all these things, but I find a lot of it to be bullshit, a lot of it to be buzzwords and hype, and not many of the players out there are not really leveraging those technologies, and they don't have the right use cases for it. You need enormous amounts of data and training sets and so on to get value from those things, and not everybody has a use case. So it's being thrown around. It's getting to a point where it's a little bit stupid. I like to focus on the timeless stuff that, you know, will work regardless of, it's not just a fad. Things like, you know, we've had a lot of things with like crypto, and there's a lot of fad stuff that's come up in the last few years that a lot of it will not stick around long term. So we're trying to build stuff that's timeless. The one macro major trend that I see that this is a big shift is from paper to digital, and that's going to have a lot of ramifications, because we still have most of the world's dealing on paper. They're still dealing in checks. They're still dealing in cash. We're still very far from moving digital. We think we are in a digital world, but we're still very far on paper, on aggregate, from moving digital. And for the paper to be replaced 100%, and governments to finally make that decision, that decree, that's game changing. The UK government has been paper based since, the land registry in the UK was started in 1860. There hasn't been much change. And just now they've decided 2025 will be 100% digital. So we're talking in the last 150 years, now there's been a big move, government led, to do something dramatically different. So this is a pivotal change. This is a catalyst that changes everything. You look at open banking technology, where the banks are opening up to get payments moving swifter and so on. So there is an agenda globally to move to a very digital world that's maybe tracked and surveillanced, and, you know, whatever the reasons are behind it. But there is a move that's clear, and it's happening this decade. to move to 100% digital, paperless, versions of everything. So for me, this is the wave to ride, whatever the ramifications are. And if you can leverage something on that in your sector, that's the play.
Right. And so I guess my final question was about the future of the company in the next 3 to 5 years and beyond. Where do you see yourself going in that time scale?
We're just going deeper and deeper on the same mission, which is millions of landlords and homeowners around the world will be using Property Card to store all their property docs in one place, and it'll become the mainstream, ubiquitous, gold standard home, acknowledged brand for managing property. So that's the vision, is laser focused on that, and we move further down that process.
Yeah, and and I can see how by the progress you've made in that period of time, I'm sure you'll get there. I really appreciate the time you've taken today to be with us. Enjoyed the chat that we've had, to hear about your thoughts on different subjects, some interesting and important shares with people who are listening. I'm sure everybody can benefit from those experiences. Obviously, I wish you all the success in your goal for the next 3 to 5 years, and it's been a pleasure to meet you.
Pleasure is all mine, Reza.
Thank you, Oliver.
Thank you so much. Take care.
Bye-bye now. Yeah.
Bye.